Hi, my name is Gay Glaspie, better known as GGmadeit, a person with chronic low self-esteem who improved her self-confidence through knitting, one stitch at a time. Welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a couple of weeks since I last came on here, but we traveled, we went to California. I finally finished my cardigan. I gave you options for what I wanted to do next, and I did something different. I'll show you that. You ready? Let's go. So we're going to start off with I got a finished song. A finished song. That's right. You see it. A finished song. A finished song. Because, guys, I finally finished my strier. And the sleeves is what slowed me down. I took this with me. We went to California. What was that? The week after Memorial Day weekend. So the last week in May, we went to California. And I packed it up. And Shelby looked at me and she said, "You are not bringing that cardigan back with that sleeve not finished." And little peer pressure never hurt anybody. And I finally finished the sleeve while I was in California. And I keep trying to go back in my mindset and try to figure out what took me so long with these sleeves and why I kept putting it down. And I can't come to any reasonable conclusion other than most sleeves that I've done have been just plain stockinette in the round. This was a little bit of work because it's a half fisherman's rib and it's stripes, and I had to decrease. So normally I do my sleeves 2 at a time, and this was just too fiddly for me to do them 2 at trying to manage nope, I wasn't even going to try it. And for whatever reasons I kept putting it down. I wasn't sure, and I'm still not 100% pleased at the way that the decreases looked. I wasn't sure if I was doing them right. So there was a lot of pressure, self-inflicted pressure that I put on myself that made me just not pick it up. I will frog if I have to, but I'm not a big frogger, and frogging feels like defeat for me. That's me personally. And I don't know. But at any rate, once I got past the sleeves, it was smooth sailing. You would have thought I would have balked at having to pick up over 300 some odd stitches for this button band. And I told myself I wasn't going to do the buttons, but I did anyway. And I think I've shared in previous episodes that the base, the main color orange is Dream Bean from Lola Bean Yarn Co. And Dream Bean is merino, cashmere, and silk. And listen to me. When I blocked this thing, the piece of material that I have, that I created with my own hands, if I wasn't here while I was making it, I wouldn't believe that this was handmade. It is a dream. I've worn it a million times since I finished making it. And it's getting warmer outside, right? It's summertime. It's hot. I don't need a cardigan. But I bet you I'll tie it around my neck in a minute. I will put some pictures in to show you when I first finished it, and various ways that I've worn it since. But I am very, very pleased. So for the details, the pattern is Straya by Andrea Mowry. It's top down, raglan, half fisherman's rib, and every time I say half fisherman's rib, something tells me I need to go look up fisherman's rib to see why is half, like what's the difference between the two stitches. But I love the texture, and I was a little concerned that I was gonna lose some texture once I blocked it, and perfection. It stretched, it grew a bit, but it grew perfectly, and it is just a dream come true. The drape, listen, if you can get your hands on some Dream Bean from Lola Bean Yarn Co., do it. It is worth it. I don't even know what the skeins cost, but I'm here to say to you, a little bit of silk goes a long way. Because, baby, I'll put some pictures in. Listen, I've done everything but sleep in this thing. And I started it when? Last year? Easily, I started last year. I was working on it when I was at Squam last year. Because, here's the background. Last year when I went to the retreat in Ohio with the Rounded Table Yarns is where I saw it for the first time. One of the attendees, or was she a teacher? I don't recall, but I know that she works for Four Pearls. She was wearing it in the color scheme of the original pattern. The original pattern is like a neutral base, but it has multiple colored stripes. And you know me, my eyes converts everything to orange. And I said I didn't want to look for new yarn, buy new yarn. I wanted to go in my stash and use what I had. So I had some iconic orange left from Adela. And I want to say that I purchased this, or I don't even know that I purchased it. I think I just got it when this was a part of the hot wall for Knit Stars when they still had their stores, the GG hot wall. So this colorway was from then, and I grabbed some of that, and I even think I had them send me some more because, yeah. And then the neutral, it looks neutral on here, but the other orange stripe and the tan or the white cream light stripe is from this. The base is called Smoothie, and it's from Knit Stars before the store closed. So yeah, I had enough of the, and both of the oranges, believe it or not, are called iconic orange. So the main throughout is Dream Bean from Adela, and the stripes are from Knit Stars. So I was able to use what I already had on hand. I didn't have to buy anything new. And I am so very pleased with the outcome. I can't even make you understand. If you've been following me, or if you follow me on Instagram, you'll know I've been talking about fiber fears and lies that I believe that I told myself has been my train of thought as of late. And one thing I was not aware of, or I didn't understand the impact of, and that is the base of a yarn. I didn't know, right? But I promise you, the first time that I used yarn, and I want to say it was from Adela, and it was my birthday base when Shelby gave me that surprise birthday party that time, and Adela dyed a skein of yarn. I think it's called Aren't You Happy? Aren't You Glad It's Gigi's Birthday, or something like that. And only people that have that colorway is if they were at that party. And I finally used it, and I made a shawl. That's when I started saying that Adela had to dip her yarn in the baby's bath water, because so soft, so flowy, the drape. And that's when Adela said to me, Gay, it has silk in it. And I want to say it was only a 10% of silk. And listen, I think I'm hooked now. Like, I need a little bit of silk in the base because, listen to me, the difference that it makes. And again, something that I was not aware that made a difference, that I even knew that I should know and consider these things when I was selecting yarn. So as I go on, I'm going to start talking more in that line of train of thought, things I wish I knew when I first started, or things I was afraid of when I first started. But that was, I'll get into all of that after. But I had to just, can we just take a moment for this dryer? Okay. Okay. So that is my completed project. Now I believe, I got to go back and look, but I think I showed you the tank top that I finished, the two projects that I finished as a part of the Knit Collage Spring Knit Along, the vest and the tank. I believe I showed you guys that. So let's get into what I'm working on currently, because it is so not what I said I thought I was going to make next. So I think last time I showed you guys two different tops that I had next up on my list. Right? That was until I saw this tank top by Woolen Pine Designs. And the title of the pattern is Yarn Keeper. And the whole purpose is to use your leftover yarn, your scraps. So I still had some iconic orange and the tan left, and I was like, I am going to make that. I also found a skein of, pretty much a full skein of City Orange, which was left over from my long summer cardigan. So more Lola Bean business going on. And the pattern called for a DK weight, but they said that some of the testers use fingering held double. So I was like, okay, I don't know that I have DK scraps sitting around, but I knew that I had fingering scraps, and I'm like, we gonna do it. We gonna use the rest of this yarn up, and baby, listen to me. Okay, listen. So again, this is called the Yarn Keeper. This was this is my first Woolen Pine pattern. It won't be my last. Very well written. A different construction for me. So this starts at the shoulder, right? So you make the front shoulder. Your short rows are in the shoulder up top, and you make one, and then you got to make another, and then you're going down. You work on the back first. Yeah, so that you do the back first, and then you pick up stitches and start that whole same process again and build the front. I like that it like I'm past all of the hard work at this point. I'm just getting length at this point. Like, how long do I want it? So I love that it gives you options for your neckline, however you want that neckline to be. It also gives you options for your armhole if you want it deeper or if you want to make it shorter. So again, very pleased with this pattern. I have no complaints, but again, this was totally new for me, the construction, the way that it came about. Any tank top that I've done in the past that had straps like this was done from the bottom up. So I was interested to see how we were going to arrive at this coming from the top. So it has been quite interesting. process, and I'm enjoying it, enjoying it. So my concern right now is, will I make it to the end with these same colors? Because this is all I have left of the city orange. And because this was one of them colors that she only dyed for me for that particular pattern, and she never made this colorway available to the public. She didn't have any. I went through my stash looking to see if I had another skein. I did not. So we're praying. The main color for this one is the city orange, but the smoothie. So this I have more than enough. So if push comes to shove, and I'm praying that it doesn't, I think I will color block the rest, like finish. I don't know if I'll do stripes with what I have remaining, which would basically be these colors, or if I'll just do the solid of the iconic orange. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments what you think I should do if I run out. So I have a really poor judgment of, will this make it, right? Because I'm pulling from both ends because I have to hold it double. So I'm pulling from the center and the outside, and I want to say the pattern called for 7 inches from under the underarm, but usually I go longer than that because I need to make room for me. So I usually longer than the pattern calls for. So we shall see what happens. Send a fiber prayer up for me that I have it, that I make it, because I really love how that city orange, just that one change in color, is bringing this all together. I really, really am enjoying this. Now the collar will be that main iconic orange, you know, the ribbing around the edge and the bottom. So I'll make it work, but I'm praying that I can get to the bottom width, because I found another a partial skein. I don't even know who it's from, but it's brown, but it's darker than this, and I don't know that I want to mess it up. So we'll see. Pray. That's another thing that has always been an issue for me. Afraid of, what do they call it, yarn chicken, running out of yarn before the project is over. Always been afraid of that, and I'm nervous. I may be okay, but we'll see. Now I know I showed you 2 other things, but since then Tony of TL Yarn Crafts released a crochet top. It has a collar. I want to say she made it to go to the Beyonce concert. I think I'm gonna try that. That's what I think. It's kind of like meshy. I think I'm gonna give that a try, because I think I've shared with you guys that I started out crocheting, but I never really made garments for myself. Most of my crocheting was blankets. I've made baby bags. Was that crocheted, or did I knit that? I don't remember, but I did crochet one sweater, but I wound up giving it away. I didn't like the way the collar worked out. And then I did crochet like a long vest. I wound up giving that away as well. But then I had my island mesh top that every time I wear it, I get stopped and people are asking me for it. So I'm going to try this top. It's short sleeve. I'll put a picture of it in here. But I think that's going to be my next thing. I think I'm going to crochet next after I finish this top. Unless something else catches my attention. You know I'm like a toddler. Squirrel. So yeah, so that's what I'm working on. And that's what I plan to work on next. I really think that I'm going to do Tony's. I need to look and see. I didn't really check to see the weight of the yarn for Tony's. So I need to see if it's something that I have or do. I'm sure I have so much yarn. We're not even going to have that conversation. But it's just, had I known earlier to not buy onesie twosies, like you need a sweater's quantity, had I known that. Oh, but I did find some Debbie Bliss when I was cleaning up, and I do have a bunch of skeins of that. So maybe that's what I'll do. Maybe I'll use Debbie Bliss's yarn to make Tony's sweater. This is why I like talking to y'all, because y'all make me think. I think that's what I'm going to do. So that's that for what I'm working on and what I plan on working on. Yeah. Okay. So if you have been with me for a while, you'll notice that I changed up my greeting a bit. Right? You'll notice that I said a person with chronic low self-esteem who improves her self-confidence through knitting one stitch at a time. And that is a fact. If you've been around for a while, you know in the very beginning, the bigger the better, right? I used bulk. My motto was go big or go home, right? Instant gratification. I have all those big giant needles. And not to take away from the patterns that I found and then created, not to take anything away from the yarn or the needles, any of that. But my reason for choosing bigger, heavier yarn was a symptom of my self-esteem. I looked at like finger and weight things, and I instantly said I wasn't a real knitter. I know you guys heard me say that before, right? I, for whatever reasons, felt like the sweaters that I saw, the shawls that I saw that were made with finer weight yarn somehow made my skills lacking. Now, did anybody tell me that? No, I told myself, right? So that's why a lot of times I talk about self-talk. Again, if you've been around for a while, you've heard me say, watch your mouth. And why I say that is because we say things to ourselves about ourselves that we would never say to somebody else, ever, right? And knitting has made me realize that I've created obstacles, tall obstacles, wide, so they were hard to get over and get around, but I built them, and then I complained because they existed. I told myself that I wasn't a real knitter. I told myself that I couldn't make a sweater. Until I started realizing, okay, I know how to do a knit stitch. I know how to do a purl stitch. I know how to increase and decrease. I can read a pattern. I know how to search on YouTube to find how to do something if I come across a stitch that I've never done before. I've built some good relationships. There's quite a few yarn shops that I could walk in and say, help me, because I'm not sure. I don't understand. So the issue wasn't the yarn. It wasn't the pattern. It wasn't the technique. It was me. And I felt like me being up front and revealing that I would reach out to somebody who felt just like me. So I'm going to lean in that direction a little more in my content to help everybody enjoy their knitting more, their crocheting more, whatever it is that you're doing, whatever hobby it is. Stop telling yourself what you can't do and focus on what you can. Because what you can do is take a class to improve whatever skill that's lacking. What you can do is look up a tutorial on YouTube and see how it's done. What you can do is ask somebody, am I doing this right? What's the next steps? Help me with, am I making sense here? So that's why I have started these little mini series on my YouTube channel, on my Instagram channel, that I'm going to bring over here. So one is fiber fears. You know, I can't tell you how many things that I cringe when I see them come up. Newsflash, I've done it before. So, case in point, brioche. You say brioche, I'm going the other way quickly. I'm not even going to try to have a conversation with you. No, thank you, bye. Have I done things in brioche? Have I completed a project in brioche? I have. But in my head, I only want to have the key to that. I talk to me and I tell myself that I can't do brioche, right? So that was one of them. The other thing was color work. For the longest time, I said, I don't know how to do that. That's for those knitters, real knitters. Are you guys following me? And it took things like, I'll put the picture of the shawl that I made that had this color. It looked like houndstooth, but it's knitted. And I was so proud, right? And I'm like, Shelby, look, look, look. As it was coming together, Shelby was like, that's nice, but didn't you do something like that before? And my little feelings was hurt for a minute. But she was right. She was absolutely positively right. I had to go through my stuff and pull out a cowl that I did years prior. Similar concept. And that one was like a tiger print type thing. But I did it. So why we build these boundaries, we build these obstacles, and then we complain that they're there. You have the key. You built it. Knock it down. So I am going to lean in that. I'm going to talk more in that, because I know, based on the responses that I'm getting on Instagram, that there are people out there that feel the same way, right? People that'll say, I can't make a sweater, right? And when I break it down, can you do the knit stitch? Yes. Can you do purl stitch? Yes. Do you know how to decrease and yes. Okay. Can you read a pattern? Yes. Do you have the yarn and the needles? Yes. So the problem, don't take it personal, or take it personal if you have to, is you, right? And I realized that it was me. That's where it's not hard, it's new, right? So if it's something that you tried before and you still avoid because you're still not sure, it's not hard, it's uncomfortable, right? It's unfamiliar. You haven't gotten to that part where it's familiar. I told myself over and over again, anything that said Kitchener stitch, no, thank you, no. Did I memorize the Kitchener ship? Absolutely not. Do I have to look it up each and every time I have to do it? I do. Do I get it done? I do. Right? So my point in all this is, if you're like me, stop it. Give yourself credit. We can do, and I know this is trite and overused and people get tired of hearing this, but it is the absolute honest truth. If you tell yourself that you can't do something, you are absolutely right. You are absolutely right. Okay? So I need you to start doing the opposite, telling yourself that you can. And if you have gaps that you need to fill in, you can take the steps to fill those gaps in. Right? So that's why I'm going to kind of shift what I'm covering. Yes, you're still going to get my knitting. Yes, I'm going to come and sing when I finish. Yes, I'm coming to sing when I get mail. All of the things. But I want to focus on self-assurance. I want to focus on self-confidence. And this thing doesn't have to just be knitting. It could be any other place in your life. I'll give you another example. At work, they removed all of the Microsoft tools. I could do Excel with my eyes closed in the bed. Okay? They took my Excel away. I needed to pull my reports And now they want me to do it in Google Sheets. And I said, and these were my words, I'm too old to learn a new program. And my daughter said, you are not. She was like, I've watched you on the computer, on social media. You can do whatever you set your mind to. And once again, my child, love her, she was absolutely right. But my default is to say that I can't. And I have to consciously work on that every day of my life. And I'm getting ready to be 60. It's where the orange came in, right? I was told all my life dark-skinned people didn't wear bright colors. I believed it. I told myself I was too dark for bright colors. It was suggested. I started repeating it to myself. And I went 50 years of my life hiding the fact that I love orange. This is why, to some, it might feel like it's overload. But it's me making up for lost time when I didn't believe enough in myself to do what I loved and not be so concerned with the next person. Right? So, do I try to find everything in orange? I absolutely do. And if it don't come in orange, is it compatible with orange? Can I wear something else that I have at home that is orange with it? Okay? Because I had to change my self-thought. I had to watch my mouth. So if you walk away with anything, if you walk away with the pattern that intrigued you, I want you to walk away with knowing in your heart of hearts that what you tell yourself is the absolute positively true. Your brain hears you and it convinces your heart that it's true. So join me and stop saying bad things about you. If you wouldn't say it to somebody else, I want you to not say it to you. Everybody with me? I need you guys to be with me. Because I look back at some of the things that I make and I'm just like, I made that. Me, the same person that was convinced that I could never do these things. I did it. One stitch at a time. When I came upon a stitch I didn't understand, when I came upon an instruction that didn't make sense to me, I asked for help. I didn't just put it down. I didn't just walk away. I didn't just get frustrated. I didn't pull it out. I figured out how to work my way through it. And so can you. Okay? So, I'm going to end with that. No, I'm not. Shelby and I will be coming back well-read wool soon. I'm not sure when, but we will, because baby, I've read some books since I came from you last. So yeah, if you're not following well-read wool, I need you to do that ASAP. I'll put the link in the description bar below. But that's all I have for this week. If you're not following me on Instagram and you need a dose of me daily, Instagram is the spot that you'll find me. I'm also on Threads, not daily, but Instagram, you'll definitely find me daily. Here, I promise, I'm trying my best to work out to be more consistent, more often here with you guys, because I know specifically I keep going back to Seattle in my head. The one woman that came up to me and she was like, I miss you, you're not on YouTube. And I was like, yeah, but I'm on this and this. She was like, I don't use all those things. I'm like, my bad, you're right, I need to come back to YouTube for the people that don't use all those things, as she said. So thank you for being patient with me while I figure out what this schedule is going to look like, but I definitely plan to be more consistent with you guys. So that's all I have for now. Thank you for watching. Thank you for liking. Thank you for commenting. If you're not following, please hit the follow button. Tell a friend who you think will get something from what I have to say. And most importantly,